Welcome back. Coverage of the opening ceremony of the London 2012 Olympics began on Friday on NBC before an audience that included not just the Queen herself, who officially opens the Games, but athletic royalty, political royalty, and even showbiz royalty. The opening ceremony itself was greatly anticipated. Directed by Britain's Danny Boyle from Slumdog Millionaire, the extravaganza is titled Isles of Wonder and was inspired by William Shakespeare's play, The Tempest. The ceremony will culminate in a performance by Sir Paul McCartney.
And over the next 17 days, NBC is planning to telecast a record 5,535 hours of Olympic coverage from London on 9 different channels, including the NBC Broadcast Network, MSNBC, Bravo, and NBC Sports. By comparison, NBC showed 2,000 hours of the 2008 Beijing Games. It's going to be the most digital-friendly Olympics as well. All athletic events will be available for viewing live online. Fans can watch events on their laptops by tuning into NBCOlympics.com or on their smartphones with the app NBC Olympics Live Extra.
On the town board agenda was an item that calls for the reduction in force for the town of Pahrump firefighters. The Pahrump Valley Firefighters International Association Local 4068 Union has issued a press release. They are challenging the claim of a financial crisis with the town budget necessitating the proposal to conduct layoffs of fire personnel. During the budget process, they say that the union was never contacted to address any issue on wages. The last wage negotiation, currently in effect, is part of the 2-year contract approved by the town board in 2011, and under standard financial processes should have included in calculating the town's budget for fiscal year 2012. Firefighters have agreed to wage concessions in the last 3 negotiated contracts. Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue since 2010 has suffered a forced reduction in the staffing of 2 fire personnel positions. They add in their statement that the town manager needs to do what's right for the citizens of Pahrump, own up to the false information he is disclosing to the Pahrump News, and stop making poor decisions surrounding the Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue and local firefighters. We spoke to town manager Bill Kobarger for his response.
Well, first of all, I believe he states in his email that the firefighters have agreed to wage concessions in the last 3 negotiated contracts. That's just not true. They've only given up 1 concession, and that was just this fiscal year 12 that just ended June 30th, and that was a 4%, and they didn't give up any pay. They just did not get their 4% step increase. That's the only concession the fire department has given in the 4 years I've been here. Now, I don't know what he means by giving up concessions in the other contracts, because there were no. 2 years ago, fiscal year 11, they got a 9% increase in pay. Fiscal year 10, they got a 10% increase in pay. Now, you can't show me any other department or any other department in the town of Pahrump that got a 19% increase in those 2 years. Matter of fact, he also states in here, to his knowledge, no other town department has experienced or are facing reductions. The reason that is that no other employee or department in the town of Pahrump has gotten a raise for 3 years. 3 years. None. They haven't gotten a cost of living. They haven't gotten a step increase. They have gotten 0 in the way of cost increases or an increase in pay. However, the fire department has gotten 19% in those 3 years. So 19% 100% versus 0. I guess the concession they gave up is they wanted 20. I don't know. You would have to ask Ray. But it's amazing that he's putting out this misinformation. And they also said that they're below average in salaries. Well, in looking at the salaries with overtime, the average salary for a fighter is just over $80,000 in the town of Pahrump. Matter of fact, we actually have one firefighter who's over $189,000. We have 2 firefighters that are over $110,000. We have 9 total firefighters that are making over $90,000 a year. So I guess they're not making enough according to the union, at least the hierarchy of the union.
Is that because of the overtime? Would it help if we had more firefighters and less overtime?
When you put on more firefighters, you still have overtime issues, because what people don't understand is when a firefighter does not show up for work, whether they're on comp, workers' comp, annual leave, or sick leave, we are mandated by the collective bargaining agreement to fill that position. So we could put on 100 firefighters per shift. You're still going to have a ton of overtime because you're still going to have guys taking off time. And nobody seems to understand that. And nobody wants to understand that, especially the IAFF.
They said that they gave up 2 firefighters positions this last time.
No, they didn't give up any firefighter positions. What they did was a non-line lieutenant training officer, which was frozen, and then one position was taken away by the town board 3 years ago because it was a non-essential position, and that individual was removed from that position, and we decided not to fill it. And the town board voted on that in the town board meeting.
Can we afford to lose more firefighters? We have a lot of volunteers there at the fire department.
Well, you know, the thing here is the union will not allow us to put volunteers in that are very well trained, that work with them every day to fill a spot. They want the money. And as you can see, again, on average, over $80,000 a year these firefighters are making with overtime, and that's working. They only work 10 days a month. They get 20 days a month off. So if they fill in, they do 2 overtime shifts per every 2 weeks. That's 14 days a month they're working, and on average making $80,000 a year. And all we're asking to do is not take the step increase that they were promised or that they were guaranteed in the contract because of the budgets. And
So you're not looking to cut firefighters, you're looking to just not give the step increase?
No, I've asked twice for the union to come to the table. The last time I put in official documentation to the union, and they absolutely refuse. I've been talking with Mr. DeLucchi about it since February, and he has advised, yes, we do need to talk about it, yes, we do need to talk about it, but when it came time to officially talk about it, they didn't want to do it. And again, it's just a 4% step. And here's the interesting thing. 7 of the firefighters are already topped out, so they won't be getting it. So this will only affect 20 firefighters. And the people who are making this decision is Raymond DeLucchi. That's it. Nobody else in the fire department has had a vote on this. Nobody else is worrying about this except Mr. DeLucchi. And here's another interesting thing about Mr. DeLucchi. He has been the fire union president for about 3.5 months. And in those 3.5 months, he has helped to file 6 grievances against the town and taken 3 to arbitration. In the prior 4 years, we had a total of 6 grievances filed, and 2 went to arbitration. So he's in no mood and no realm to deal. All he wants to do is try and flex muscles as a new union president, and he's been over having lunch and meetings with the North Las Vegas union president and the Las Vegas union president, and has his head firmly in with them. So we're going to ignore management. We're going to ignore the downturn in the economy. We don't care. Matter of fact, Mr. DeLucchi's comment with me was, we've given enough. We need our raises.